Leo, my radiant and unstoppable lion, let me ask you something. Have you felt it in your bones? That tingling, unexplainable pull, like something is shifting right beneath the surface of your everyday life? Well, you're not wrong. Because something big, something Sadini is about to happen. It's the kind of shift that turns heads, breaks patterns, and reminds the world exactly who you are. And the universe? It's orchestrating this moment for you. Not randomly. Not by chance. But because it's time. Welcome to eternal mindfulness. If you're here, it's not an accident. You've been guided. This message is for Leo suns, moons, rising sand, even those who feel a powerful pull toward the blazing, commanding, creative spirit of Leo. No matter what brought you here today, the fact that you arrived at this exact moment is cosmic confirmation. Your story is about to take a turn that not even you saw coming. Between June 16th and 18th, the energy around you intensifies. The stars align in a way that cracks open possibilities. And here's what's wild: it won't be planned, and it won't be subtle. It will be sudden. It will be bold. And yes, it will shock you, and everyone else. That's why this video exists. Not to predict your life, but to remind you of your role in shaping it. Here in this sacred space, we blend astrology, tarot, numerology, cosmic energy, the law of attraction, and heart-based self-help. It's not about fortune-telling, it's about power. Your power. And right now, you're standing on the edge of something breathtaking. Now, before we dive into the deeper layers, before we pull back the curtain on what the universe has been whispering to you, allow me to take a moment to thank you. Truly. Your presence here means more than you know. Every like, every thoughtful comment, every subscription is what keeps eternal mindfulness alive and able to reach the souls who need these messages most. And to you, Leo, I say, thank you, deeply, for being a part of this constellation. And trust me when I say you're going to want to stay with me until the very end. Because what's coming next is stunning. It's not just a message, it's a moment of awakening. One designed just for you. So tell me, Leo, what drew you here today? Was it a feeling? A question? A burst of intuition? Whatever it was, I invite you now to ground it. Leave a comment below to confirm this connection. Speak your heart. Claim your energy. Let the universe and this community know that you're present, aware, and ready for what's to come. Because ready or not, it's already on its way. Take a breath, settle in, and let's unlock what the stars have been waiting to reveal. It's interesting, isn't it, Leo, how something so powerful can arrive not when we're chasing after it, but when we finally let go of the need to control how or when it appears. This part of your journey is not about striving harder. It's about softening, releasing the grip you've kept around expectations, outcomes, and the unrelenting pressure to always have the answers. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. The energy of the moment calls on you to surrender, not to give up, but to give in to something more fluid, more honest, and more aligned with your nature. Think of the Wheel of Fortune, not just as a card, but as a mirror. It reflects the sacred truth of change, its inevitability, its impartiality, and its sacred timing. You are not meant to push the wheel, Leo. You are meant to ride it. And when you stop forcing its spin, something miraculous happens. It starts turning in your favor. If you've been feeling like you're in a waiting room lately, stuck between what you desire and when it will arrive, know this: your stillness is not stagnation. It's preparation. Just as the sun rises without being summoned, just as flowers bloom without a deadline, what's meant for you is not delayed, it's simply aligning behind the scenes. The lesson here is profound yet simple. When you stop chasing, you start attracting. You might have noticed the number 10 showing up lately in time, in totals, in random patterns. In numerology, 10 is the number of completion and divine alignment. It signals the end of a chapter, but not an ending in the dramatic sense. Rather, it's a gentle closing of a door that no longer opens to your future. It's the space before the new chapter begins, the sacred pause, the exhale, the quiet before the arrival. And just like that number, the wheel doesn't ask you to fix, hustle, or overthink. It asks you to return to presencito now. When you are truly present, you are no longer weighed down by the past or anxious about the future. You begin to notice how much is already working in your favor, how many invisible hands have been moving things on your behalf. It's also no accident that your lucky colors during this period are gold and fiery orange, symbols of boldness, visibility, and transformation. These are the colors of royalty, of warmth, of confidence rising. Wear them. Surround yourself with them. Visualize them as a light radiating from your solar plexus, reigniting your personal power not through domination, but through clarity. When you stop resisting, your light expands effortlessly. You don't need to demand attention, you simply become impossible to ignore. There's also a quieter wisdom in this part of your path, one that teaches us to rest in the rhythm of life instead of interrupting it. Like water finding its way through rock, ease can achieve what effort sometimes cannot. You're being reminded that rest is not retreat. It's a return to your inner knowing. Doing nothing, when done consciously, becomes an act of great faith and receptivity. So let this be a gentle invitation to loosen your grip, Leo. To stop grasping for outcomes and begin trusting the current that is already carrying you forward. Don't underestimate the intelligence of letting go. It may seem passive, but in truth, it's the most magnetic thing you can do right now. And perhaps, just perhaps, everything you've been waiting for is waiting for you to on the other side of your surrender. If this resonates with your heart, take a moment to comment below. I deserve to rest. Let it be your affirmation and your offering. Let it be the signal that you are ready not to chase, but to receive. And just like that, Leo, as you begin to relax your grip and make space for what truly belongs in your life, something begins to move. While you weren't looking, while you were softening into trust, the energy around you shifted. And between June 16th and 18th, that shift is ready to manifest in tangible form. It may come through a message, an unexpected phone call, a sudden offer, or even a subtle sign that opens a door you didn't even know was there. This is not coincidence, it's the natural unfolding of what happens when readiness meets aligned timing. The Page of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles together tell a story that's as grounded as it is exciting. It's the story of fresh opportunities rising from solid roots. The page brings curiosity and movement. It's a spark of potential that lights up your mind with ideas or direction. The Ace, on the other hand, is pure substance, something real, something that can grow. Together, they suggest that what's coming your way is not just an idea, but a seed, something with weight, value, and long-term potential. And although you may not feel fully prepared energetically, you are. You've been cultivating this opening through your resilience, your vision, and your willingness to let go of what wasn't working. This moment asks you to listen closely, not just with your ears, but with your intuition. What opportunity feels like it's calling your name, even if it scares you a little? What idea keeps returning, tugging gently at your awareness? These are not distractions, they're invitations. You're not being pushed to act out of urgency, but rather, being nudged toward alignment. There's a deeper layer here too, one that whispers quietly behind the noise of success and ambition. It reminds us that real wealth doesn't arise solely from accumulation, but from presence. When you're fully awake in the moment, when your actions stem from clarity instead of reactivity, your work becomes meaningful. Your decisions become cleaner. You stop wasting energy on outcomes and begin to act from purpose. The number 1 is showing up for you now, and in numerology, it symbolizes the purest beginning. Not a continuation. Not a fix. A fresh chapter. In the context of your work and finances, this is a sign that you're being offered something foundational. Perhaps it's a new project, a job shift, or a subtle internal change that affects how you value your time and energy. Regardless of form, the number is asking you to claim your place as the author of what comes next. With every decision, large or small, you are shaping your path. And as opportunities arrive, it's important not to rush blindly. Let your excitement live, but anchor it with wisdom. Spend with awareness. Share with care. Express your ideas boldly, yes, but also allow space for listening, observing, and refining. There's strength in discernment, not just courage. Some teachings remind us that the way we handle gain is as important as how we handle loss. If something fortunate comes your way, accept it without grasping. Appreciate it fully, but do not cling. This creates the conditions for even more abundance to flow. In that way, prosperity becomes a natural expression of balance, not something we chase, but something we align with. So as this energetic opening appears over these next few days, move forward with both confidence and calm. Let your inner fire guide you, but temper it with the quiet knowing that you are already enough, whether the opportunity lands or simply passes by, to prepare you for the next. If this message has sparked clarity within you, take a moment to reflect in the comments. Tell me, what vision are you holding for your next 3 months? Speak it like it's already real. That's how you begin. As we move into the heart space of this unfolding message, something tender begins to rise. After grounding yourself in the calm of trust and opening your arms to sudden opportunities, it's only natural that your emotional world now begins to stir. The rhythm of the universe doesn't just deliver material blessings, it also knows when your heart is ready to feel again, perhaps in a deeper, more balanced way than ever before. Love, for you now, isn't just romance. It's about resonance. It's about connection that nourishes rather than depletes, that reflects rather than distorts. The appearance of the 9 of Cups paired with Justice is a profound one. It tells the story of emotional satisfaction that's rooted not in fantasy, but in fairness. It's a signal that what you give in relationships, honesty, loyalty, effort, is making its way back to you. But it may not arrive in the form you expect. You might encounter someone whose energy doesn't immediately match yours, and yet something about them opens a door in you that had long been closed. Maybe it's their stillness. Maybe it's their depth. But somehow, they remind you of a part of yourself you've forgotten. That's not coincidence. It's a mirror. For those already in a relationship, this is a sacred invitation to pause, not because something's wrong, but because growth often begins in the quiet spaces between. A moment of emotional distance, whether physical or energetic, is not necessarily a sign of disconnection. Sometimes, it's the breath we need to come back stronger, to return with clearer vision and deeper compassion. The bond between two people is not always about closeness, it's about understanding. It's about holding space, even in silence. This is a beautiful time to let yourself be seen. True connection isn't built through perfection, it's built through presence. Through the willingness to show your vulnerable edges without fear that they make you unlovable. When you dare to reveal the tender parts of yourself, the doubts, the hopes, the longingity, not weakening the connection, you're deepening it. Even if it feels unfamiliar, even if the voice in your head warns you to pull back, lean in just a little. Let your heart speak, without rehearsal. There's a quiet practice that suggests writing a letter, not necessarily to be sent, but to be expressed. A letter to someone you love, or to the version of yourself that longs to be held. In this writing, you may discover what your heart has been trying to say all along. Sometimes the act of naming what we feel brings a sense of relief that no outside response could ever provide. And when you write from your heart, without expectation or censorship, you allow emotion to breathe and evolve on its own terms. The gentle hues of peach pink and sky blue carry with them a vibration of openness and truth. They are not flashy or demanding, but instead invite honesty and softness. Surround yourself with these tones. If you feel called, wear them, look for them, meditate on their glow. Let them remind you that love doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it whispers. This phase of your journey reminds you that love begins with self-recognition. You are not here to perform in order to be chosen. You are here to stand in your fullness, and attract what truly resonates. The kind of love that lasts, whether it's romantic, platonic, or even the quiet friendship you form with yourself, arises when there is mutual respect, energetic harmony, and emotional accountability. So as you step into this window of transformation, allow your heart to guide you, not with urgency, but with clarity. Whether you're opening yourself to someone new or rediscovering the sacredness in a familiar bond, remember that balance isn't something you find, it's something you choose. And when you do, the love that returns to you feels not like a surprise, but like a homecoming. There is a quiet strength that arises when you no longer feel the need to prove yourself to the world, and for Leo, this is often the greatest challenge because you are built to shine. You thrive on movement, expression, radiance. But between June 16th and 18th, the invitation isn't to shine outwardly. It's to turn inward, to trace the glow back to its source. This is the moment where stillness becomes your greatest power. And yes, I know that sounds counterintuitive, especially to someone whose energy is so naturally dynamic. But true energy, lasting energy, comes from alignment, not exhaustion. The presence of the hermit and the fool is deeply symbolic. Together, they speak of the sacred pause before the leap, the knowing that before you enter something new, you must first return to your inner center. The hermit doesn't retreat because they are lost. They step back because they know the answers do not exist outside of them. And the fool doesn't jump blindly. Their leap is guided by trust built in the silence, in the pause, in the solitude. This is the subtle but powerful wisdom you're being called to now. Your body, too, may be whispering this to you in its own language. Fatigue, restlessness, irritability, these are not flaws to be pushed through. They are gentle nudges reminding you to come back to your breath, to your rhythm, to your real needs. Nourishing your health during this window isn't about strict routines or harsh discipline. It's about presence. Choosing foods that are alive, fresh fruits, clean grains, hydrating vegetables, not because it's trendy, but because your cells respond to vitality. Movement, too, should be intuitive. A morning stretch under the sun. A slow walk at sunset. Even 10 minutes of conscious breathing using the 4-7-8 pattern can begin to recalibrate your nervous system and remind you what calm feels like inside your skin. There's a concept found in ancient teachings that says, rest is a form of action. Not in the productivity sense, but in the restoration of clarity and resilience. When you allow yourself to rest with intention, to be purposefully unproductive, you're not quitting the path. You're strengthening your ability to walk it with steadiness. You're protecting your energy from the constant push of expectation and returning to your own pace. This isn't laziness. It's a higher form of responsibility, because only from a nourished place can you lead, love, and create sustainably. The numerological presence of the number 9 adds even more depth here. 9 is the number of endings, of quiet completion. But not every ending is dramatic. Some ends silent, lie in a breath, in a realization, in a moment where you decide to no longer carry what isn't yours. The number 9 suggests that you're at the final phase of something internal. A belief. A pattern. A way of moving through the world that once served you but now gently asks to be released. And once you let it go, what follows is space. And in that space, something new can begin. So this isn't the time to push harder or to chase clarity by doing more. It's a time to trust that clarity is already seeking you, if only you're still enough to receive it. The stillness isn't empty. It's full of messages. And if you listen truly, you'll hear what your next step is meant to be. Not because someone told you, but because it rose from within you like a quiet, undeniable truth. If this speaks to where you are right now, let that be your affirmation. Share in the comments, "Stillness is my strength." Say it not just for others, but for yourself, as a reminder that rest is not a detour. It is the path. After the stillness has anchored you and the noise has softened into clarity, something remarkable begins to unfold, not from outside, but from within. You start to remember that your joy doesn't need a reason. That you don't have to wait for the perfect outcome, the perfect timing, or the perfect version of yourself to feel light, to laugh, to breathe deeply and freely. The energy of the moment is a gentle yet powerful invitation. Be happy now. Not later. Not someday. Now. The King of Swords and the 7 of Pentacles show us something quietly profound. The King is a master of logic, responsibility, structure. He stands tall in wisdom, but sometimes forgets how to soften. The 7 of Pentacles reflects patience, investment, and waiting, but also a subtle restlessness. Together, they ask, are you postponing your peace? Are you living in a mindset that says, I'll enjoy my life when I've achieved this? When I've solved that? When I finally feel like I've earned it? If so, you're not alone, but you're also not bound to that belief. There is a story that teaches this beautifully. A traveler, after walking a long and difficult road, reaches a mountain temple and asks the teacher, "When will I find joy?" The teacher looks at him gently and replies, "Only when you stop insisting it must come later." It's the kind of truth that sounds simple but cuts deep. And in this current phase of your journey, Leo, this truth is exactly what you're being asked to live. Joy is not a reward. It is not earned like a paycheck or unlocked like a prize. It's a quality of presence. It's the laughter that bubbles up when you remember how small your worries feel compared to the vastness of the sky. It's the music you hum without realizing. It's the sunrise you barely noticed because you were too busy thinking of how to fix tomorrow. But when you let go of that constant reaching, you begin to feel joy not as an event, but as a practice. And that practice is magnetic. The law of attraction works best when it is rooted in authenticity, not desperation. You don't attract what you pretend to be, you attract from the vibration you consistently live in. That's why the smallest shifts make the biggest difference. When you look in the mirror in the morning and see yourself not as someone striving, but as someone already victorious, your energy transforms. When you take a moment to acknowledge 3 things you're grateful for: your breath, a kind gesture, the warmth of sunlight, you step into the frequency of receiving. And from that space, everything flows more naturally. You begin to notice how opportunity finds you more easily, how people respond to you differently, how your life feels less like something to fix and more like something to enjoy. There's also wisdom in knowing when to laugh at the seriousness you've wrapped around your goals. You are allowed to be ambitious and playful at the same time. You can plan for the future without carrying it like a weight. The most radiant energy often comes from those who have learned to take their dreams seriously but not themselves. They shine because they've stopped waiting for joy to be justified. So let this be your permission. Let it be your reminder. Not everything has to be perfect for you to feel good. You don't have to delay delight. Your future self doesn't want you to arrive exhausted, it wants you to arrive smiling. And if you need a place to start, start here. Right now. Take a breath, find something, anything that makes you smile. Let that moment be enough. Then watch how the universe responds. If this touched something within you, let your joy begin here. Comment below with one simple thing you're grateful for today. Claim it. Feel it. Let that be the energy that guides your next step forward. As we reach the end of this sacred journey together, I want you to pause right here, right now, and take a deep breath. Feel the truth settle in. You were never meant to live a small life. You were never designed to hide your fire or to shrink your voice. Leo, your very presence is a declaration of light, a reminder to everyone around you of what it means to live with courage, heart, and fierce authenticity. You are not a side character in someone else's story. You are the author, the lead, the spark, and you are allowed to take up space. In fact, the world needs you too. From June 16th to 18th, something begins to move in your favor. But it's not just about fatigue, it's about your willingness to meet fate halfway. The energy surrounding you is ripe for change, for surprise, for powerful transformation. But none of that can truly take root unless you believe you're worthy of the life you're asking for. And you are. You don't need the approval of others to be powerful. You don't need someone else's permission to feel joy, to choose rest, or to set wild dreams in motion. Just by being here, by showing up for yourself in this moment, you've already proven that you're ready to walk in a different rhythm. The one that belongs to you. So I'll ask you this. What would shift in your life if you stopped waiting for the right time and simply chose to start now? What could change if you began treating your joy as a priority instead of a reward? Who would you become if you started each morning with the belief that the universe is not testing you but trusting you? Leo, you have everything you need to create something beautiful, no matter where you've been, no matter what you've faced. The magic is not in the external outcomes. It's in your willingness to show up day after day with a soft heart and steady hands. And now, it's your turn to take what you've received here and carry it forward. Will you give yourself permission to rest without guilt? Will you take bold action when your intuition nudges you? Will you pause long enough to enjoy the beauty that's already here? Let this be the beginning of a new agreement with yourself. That from this moment on, you will no longer delay your happiness. That you will lead not with fear, but with trust. That you will let go of the heaviness that never belonged to you, and make room for the light that always has. If today's message touched something within you, let it echo beyond this screen. Drop a comment below and tell me, what are you ready to receive? What part of this message felt like it was written just for you? Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to see. And if you're still here with me, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your time, your energy, your presence matters more than you know. Every like, every comment, every subscription helps this channel Eternal Mindfulness grow into a space where more souls like yours can be seen, heard, and empowered. So if this message resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe, tap that bell for future videos, and share this space with others who walk a path like yours. Because we're building something meaningful here, a community grounded in truth, transformation, and trust. And remember this, you don't have to be fearless to be powerful. You just have to keep showing up, exactly as you are. Say it aloud. Say it in the comments. I am ready to receive all that is meant for me. That's how your next chapter begins. Not with noise, but with a single, quiet decision to believe in yourself again.